am back with a new episode here in my Arty Musings series. I also thought I would continue from last week and talk specifically about how I do things when I'm painting. And I thought I'd go back to problem solving since it seems to be something that I really like discussing. Partly because it's really about the tips and tricks that I can share when it comes to the painting process. And I have always appreciated finding out how other artists tackle problems or find solutions. So I thought I would share another one of my methods, one of the more proactive methods in my arsenal when it comes to figuring out how to deal with issues and how to move forward. So this actually happened to me this week, so this is one of the reasons I thought I would bring it up. Sometimes, and I have discussed this before, when you have a problem, one of the best things you can do is just take a break, come back, see if the issue has resolved itself, or if you can actually finally see where the issue is, or maybe get a second opinion. And all of these things I've discussed in previous videos. But sometimes, no matter what you do, you cannot actually find a way forward. And at this point, now, I tend to have a very tactical approach to everything in life, and I find that I grew up a bit nerdy. I loved mathematics. I love chess. I like being strategic in my approaches to any field in life. So I use those muscles, if you will, and apply them with painting as well. So one of the things that I will do when I struggle to come up with a solution is that I will take some time, put aside some time and sit in my studio, bring out the painting, get my favorite beverage out and bring out my notebooks and just spend like an hour or so just looking at the painting and having a discussion with myself through pen and paper about what I want to do with the painting, what I can do to add elements or take away elements, or maybe adjust lines or colors, or whatever is required. I'll open myself up to discussing it and maybe even changing things dramatically. And what this does is, for me at least, writing it down really helps me analyze the data, and I will take the time to. It's a bit difficult sometimes because you really have to take the time to accept that there may be major changes required in the composition even, but just allowing yourself to put it all out on paper then gives you objectivity, and you can read it and see where you're taking the idea, whether the concept needs to be enhanced, or maybe you are being too diverse, maybe you should bring it all together again. And I find that this helps me specifically, like I said, because it works with my personality type. Now, if you are more of a spontaneous, played by ear kind of character, maybe this won't work, because this is very much about honing in to the problem and being very left-brained with it. But it does help me, and I did this with a painting this week where I wasn't really sure where it was going. I tried to play around with it and it just kept going in circles. So what I did was I sat down with my pen and paper, and I have explained before that when I start a painting, I will usually write out the concepts. I will discuss with myself what it is that I'm trying to express on the canvas or the paper. But I find that I can continue to use writing further into the painting process. I certainly do it at the end when I'm close to finishing it. I will always have lists of things that I feel like could tie it all together. It just helps the brain remember where everything should fall into place for the final balance. But also in what I call the middle game, I find that sometimes when I get lost, I just need to bring back the pen and paper and then go through my old notes and really just fine-tune the concept, or really figure out how I'm symbolically expressing that concept. Especially with what I'm trying to do right now, have more mood and atmosphere as opposed to just a concept narrated within a painting. I find I struggle a little more. I think it's easier for me to share a story through objects that then signify certain elements of that concept or idea or narrative. But when you're going for a specific mood, it's really about how you paint it, and I struggle a little bit more with that kind of type of painting. So I really have had to push myself and fine-tune not just the technique, but the way I approach painting and the way I relate to the painting process. And writing again has helped me deal with the potholes that I have encountered along the way to the completion of the paintings. So if writing is one of your hobbies, or maybe it's something you just like to do, perhaps you can add it into your arsenal of creative solutions for your painting. But if it's not, maybe there is something else that you can do, and each person is going to be very individual in the way they find solutions. And sometimes it's good to look at the way you approach other fields in life in general. Like I said, I tend to be very tactical. I like to have information and data and then make decisions based on that. So knowing that about myself in regards to the rest of life, I then bring it into my painting process as well. I mean, everyone expects artists to be very spontaneous and wild maybe, but that is certainly not my personality. And I've experimented with different approaches, but I find that when I'm true to myself and what my character is like, at least for now, maybe I'll change later, the painting process is actually much smoother, and I'm really using my strengths for the creative process. So that is my tip for this week. Figuring out perhaps what kind of approach you have in other aspects of your life, and then bring it to the creative process. Try out writing, maybe really just sitting there and being very honest with yourself. Whether it's a diary or a notebook, whatever it is, it'll give you objectivity, and when you read your own words, there's an honesty there, and it's between you and yourself, so you never have to worry about whether someone else sees it or not. And with that honesty, you can really be clear about what the problem is in the painting, and then figure out what kind of solutions you need. I hope that helps you in your creative processes as well. I have certainly taken many detours in finding out what works for me, but I am also very grateful for other artists who have shared their problem-solving experiences, because I know that when you're starting out with painting, sometimes it's quite tough to discover your own ways of doing things without someone perhaps showing you a way or two in the beginning. So I hope this helps, and I hope you are not deterred from creativity whenever you hit upon a difficult phase. I know they are relatively common, or at least sometimes they're just small, but they come up in each painting. These are life experiences, really. Anyhow, I will soon end this video, and I hope you enjoyed that. If there is anything else that you want to know about the creative process, feel free to message me. You know where to reach me. And until next time, I will say take care and goodbye.